on topical issues as always. Nigeria right now. Come along.
Gaskiya wuta noma.
As it relates to their relationship. Jackson. So that's it. This is Nigeria right now. Action. Hello out there. This is Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu. Today my guest is Chief Dan Nwanyanwu, national leader, and indeed, of course, the national chairman of Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. He is my guest and he will join me shortly.
Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu has been one of the finest programs that I've seen in AIT that really talk on important issues as it affects our nation. And I would say to Dixon, keep on doing what you are doing. You know, without the press, we cannot do much as a people. Sometimes in a country like ours, the press is even the one playing the role of the opposition that I can see. So many times the voice of the opposition is being silenced in one way or the other, but the press have, you know, been able to stand their ground all this while. So Dixon, thank you for the good job that you are doing, and I pray that the Almighty God will help you to do more for this nation.
Nigeria now has been a program that is within the national consciousness. The promoter of the program, Dixon, is known to me for more than 2 decades. I'm quite delighted that he's still himself. He has never grown arrogant and is very professional to the core. And when you have individuals that their focus is not their personal aggrandizement, it's in the interests of Nigerians, I think you have the comfort that Nigeria would be great again. And with people like him, quite a number of people that are in the video, I believe the sky is the limit for this country. I believe in this country, and I believe one day this nation will be great.
Welcome right back. This is still Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu, and my guest is still here, Chief Dan Nwanyanwu. Chief, you know, we've dissected various issues already, and I think you've done justice to clarifying why you did what you did, the intervention as regards the FCT minister and the happenings in Rivers. You've also stated why you have locus from the legal perspective, why you can make comment, because you're not from Rivers. Some people have said...
I don't have to be from Rivers to make a comment.
Of course. You're a Nigerian.
Yes.
And of course, a stakeholder in the political arena. But there are also other issues you raised. The aspect that has to do with the Southeast and the insecurity in the Southeast as linked to Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, there was something you said that I was taken aback a bit. He said if the president was not going to release Nnamdi Kanu, they should bring him to the Eagle Square and probably roast him and enjoy the barbecue. Every Nigerian will eat from it and then we'll close the chapter. What does that mean?
Yeah, because you see, I have taken time. I started long ago to speak about Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
Even when President Tinubu,
Buhari was in power, yes.
But of course, he wouldn't listen to anybody. President Buhari never liked. He has what I call ancient hatred against the people of the Southeast, and he never pretended about it. And that's why I like him. He doesn't pretend on such things. You will see it on his face, you will see it all over his body, you will see it
in his expressions. Yes.
So the hatred, the ancient hatred against the Igbos is deep-rooted in him.
What could have brought about this hate?
Well, I don't want to go into that. Forget about here. Pick this person. People who do not think deep. We say this person was his, Akadibo was his running mate. This one was really mate. No, far from that. Far from that. Now, there were people who had access to these terrorists, even where and when our security agencies could not get there. They claimed to be negotiating for some state governments. They were not called terrorists because they were doing those things on a fee, and they would not like the insurgency, the terrorist act to stop because they are beneficiaries. There are persons who wanted some sort of determination that has to do with allowing some freedoms, like Ibuho, like others. They are all free. And now ask, what did Nnamdi Kanu do? Tell us what he did. The elder statesman in Basilike went to Buhari and said, hand him over to me. Of course, he will not listen. The president of Ohaneze and Igbo worldwide, Chief Nwanyanwu, a respected and respectable Nigerian, went there to see Nnamdi Kanu, asked the president, release him. They've not released him. Now the governors, 5 governors came together for the first time after a long time.
Something they are waking up late though.
It doesn't matter, it's better to be late than never. If I talk now, you say I'm defending them.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. Because if the governors had come together all this while, probably wouldn't have lingered. They are the official leaders of that zone.
You know what we call okwa, that big ball of breadfruit. When it is ripe, it will fall. It can only fall when it is ripe. You don't plug it.
So it is ripe now?
It is ripe, that's when they met.
Okay, fine.
So they asked for it. And now everybody is telling the president.
The House of Rep members have, the senators have.
Yes. Don't get me wrong. President Tinubu didn't put him there.
No doubt.
He didn't arrest him.
No doubt.
He may have his own ideas about the whole thing. I said, okay, if you don't want to release Nnamdi Kanu, bring him to Ego Square so that we can close the matter quickly. Let's make barbecue with his body. Let his enemies come there and take small so that we close the matter permanently.
Nigerians are not barbarians.
That is the
We're not cannibals. We don't eat human flesh.
Then why are they keeping him there? Why are they keeping him there? The man that kept him there due to ancient hatred has gone. And as president, you have the powers to do what will give you peace and what will make people think better about you.
To bring development.
To bring development. You don't know how the Southeast will take it, that it is President Tinubu that released Nnamdi Kanu.
And of course, the economy of the Southeast is wrecked.
It's wrecked.
So
that administration introduced insurgency and terrorism in the Southeast, starting with the bombing and the release of prisoners in Owerri.
That's a strong allegation, though.
I said it that time. It's not strong. Go to internet. Go to Google. You see it. I have said it and I gave my reasons. It was when it was discovered that those that did those things were not from the Southeast. They started recruiting urchins, people without skill, uneducated people. They are the ones that have taken over. And they started breaking into groups. These are intelligence reports. They have their own. So that's why we have the problem today. Letting Nnamdi Kanu come out, then go and do PIM in Igbo land or in any forest. They will wipe you off because the man you claim
that you're fighting for,
is out. That is the advantage. And I think President Tinubu should use this advantage to do this to his own advantage. And I am sure that the Southeast will be forever grateful for doing that.
Okay.
Look, this Nnamdi Kanu's issue. You recall, I think I have spoken to your station or another station. You know why Nnamdi Kanu did not succeed?
Succeed with what?
With what he's asking for. And that was when I said, all Igbos are Biafrans. That was during Buhari's time, including those in Buhari's cabinet. If any Igbo man told you that he's not a Biafran, don't listen to him. But the Biafra we are talking about is not the Biafra with territorial integrity. It's not the Biafra with Air Force, with Army, with Navy. It is the Biafra Ojukwu talked about before he died. Before he died. They never say die. That is the Biafra. So I myself, I have been opposed to the Southeast leaving Nigeria. Rather, want a Nigeria that will be just, equitable, that will treat everybody equally.
I would rather say that all Nigerians are Biafrans, because whatever Ojukwu agitated then, that's what we're going through now. The issue of restructuring and all that we're calling, is that not what brought about it? When they went to Aburi, signed for regional government to be sustained and all of that. Is that not what we're now going back to? We have reverted to the old anthem and all of that. There's even call for us to revert to the 1963 Constitution. So all Nigerians are Biafrans. Everybody is being oppressed.
So that is
aren't we all oppressed now?
That was the point I made at that time.
Yes.
So what did he do? What did he do? So if you have all this, everybody who's walking freely on the streets, are you holding him because he's Igbo? If this thing had happened for a Fulani man, Yoruba, my reaction would be the same. The same. So release him. If you don't want to release him, let's barbecue him.
But now that everybody is calling for political approach, you're a political leader. Couldn't political leaders of various political parties also, come together to say, Mr. President, we are also adding our view, our voice to this call for the general good of Nigeria?
I don't think it will get to that point. The buck ends on the president of Nigeria is a powerful person. He has his advisors. He consults widely. He has information you don't know and you don't have, because he gets briefed on all these matters, and it depends on who is briefing him. So there are some briefs. I read about one American president. They will send him some brief. He will send external people to go and do their own brief, and he will end up most of the time to do the other one, and it works for him. So it depends on who is briefing the president.
Yeah.
So it's like this issue you are talking about. We cannot continue in a society where people are not truthful, where people don't care about the other. Once they're making their money, you have deep pocket. You can use their money, flaunt it anywhere to thwart justice, to suppress and oppress and hound people. You are happy. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You forget that a day of reckoning would come.
Like it's happening in Kenya now.
You don't take me there. Don't take me there.
I have to, because the politicians need to know that a day of reckoning will come.
You were still talking about Wike. Assuming President Tinubu did not make Wike a minister, as Wike asked himself, where would I have been now? You see, everything is transient. Don't think you are God to anybody.
Yeah.
That is how life is. President Tinubu one day will leave that place. He wasn't there before. This was a man that was struggling. I met him in Abiola's house in Hope 93. That's where I met him for the first time. Consistent on that struggle. You can see how many years did it take for God to pay him back?
Is it God that paid him back? Why do we always bring God all the time in this? When politicians play their game and all of that, then they say God. What has God got to do with it?
Let me tell you. I don't know your religious...
no, it's not about religion now, but what has God got to do with grabbing it and running with it?
I don't know your faith.
I'm a Christian. Let me profess it publicly, so I don't be like I'm ashamed of Christ. I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ.
Anything God doesn't want to work.
Yes.
If he didn't want something to work, it will not work.
No, but there is the permissive will of God. There is also the perfect will of God. The permissive will of God allows that what your decision is, of course, he gave you liberty. You can decide. He won't compel you, but the perfect will is, God is not the author of confusion.
You said you are a Christian.
Yes, I am.
What did God talk about? Even St. Paul, what did they talk about? Our leaders and the followers. What did God say?
You pray for them, right?
You
say you should pray for them.
And that's not all. He said you should follow them. You should listen to them. You should pray for them. Because whoever is there on authority of God. He didn't talk about whether you grab and run.
It's okay.
If he didn't want it to work, it will not work.
But praying for them, there is no specific outline that you should pray for them in so way.
So you want to pray
you can pray
for them to die?
Well, not necessarily to die, but that God can intervene and save us from this whole quagmire we found ourselves.
Everything is still within God to do.
Because things are tough in our country.
We're
going through excruciating pain in our country.
There is nobody that will tell you that he doesn't realize that things are very bad. It's very bad. And that's why we're making suggestions. Find a way. You see, relaxing some of these measures, I said, will not amount to weakness. Rather, it's a strength.
No doubt.
That you have listened to people.
Yeah.
That you have.
You can
Look
go
at
back
what
on
the
your
president of Kenya, you mentioned Kenya.
Yes.
Has he not started reversing? Before he was talking tough.
Yeah. Well, because the people got up because the government is afraid of the people. In Nigeria, it doesn't seem to be so.
Well,
government is not afraid of the people.
You see, I want to see that day when Nigerians will rise in unison against a particular matter, devoid of tribe, religion, and where you come from. The truth is that is what is drawing Nigeria back. I recall when I went to plead for Abiola to get bail, and this is serious. I was in NIPS with 11 military administrators in 1992. When we left, during that struggle, if you watch Oputa Commission, when Femi Falana was examining or cross-examining Ishaya Bamaye, when they were talking about Abiola, death and all that, Ishaya Bamaye said, look, I couldn't have done that because I arranged for his bail. Femi Falana asked him, you? He said, yes. Say, how? He said his friend Nwanyanwu came and convinced him to talk to the CEC. I was a young man on Abiola's bail. What he didn't know was my closeness to Abiola. He left Garrison, Lagos, to see Abacha for the bail. So Femi asked him, is it that Nwanyanwu of Bank Union? He said yes. Femi said he has no further questions. That is on record.
It's okay.
So what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes. That your struggle for democracy did not begin today.
So it didn't begin today.
I agree.
So when people talk and attach anything, I laugh.
I agree.
Because we have done this thing, even when we didn't know we'll get where we are today.
Chief Nwanyanwu, on a final note, is there anything, because you were a presidential candidate, is there anything that you could say to the president to possibly do differently for the good or betterment of Nigeria? Anything differently?
Yeah, but I've just said one.
No, just mention one specific.
We're talking about hunger.
Yeah.
Medicine. Housing. It's like this NLC thing. I said...
Issue of minimum wage.
Yes, I said something in my last interview. It is not only salary increase. When we have problem in SAP, President Babangida, after negotiating with the NLC,
yes.
You know, President Babangida was a functional president.
The only military head of state that answered president.
Yes. Check everything this Abuja that is of substance.
Yeah.
It was done by him.
True.
It was done by him.
True.
He said, okay, and then he put before, during Pascal Bafia, 100 buses to Nigerian Labour Congress, 100 million take-off grant. He approved of a Labour bank, people didn't know, called Lacon. Workers had access there to take small money and pay back.
That was a military government.
That was the military government. So it calmed tension. The buses were distributed across the country. Workers were using it, paying little. Don't pass it through any governor. Let an AC run it. Now, during Shehu Shagari's government, President Shehu Shagari built Shehu Shagari housing scheme all over the states. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms. All over, in thousands. Civil servants had access to it. So there are so many other ways you have to introduce so many things. And like example of what Governor Mimiko did in Ondo, their BA program, where pregnant women from antenatal to delivery up to 5 years free of charge, even where surgery was involved. It removed money. It added money to the families. Look at the free transport is done for the school children in Anambra, which IMO replicated for the civil servants. They would, like in Ondo State, some families pay them up to 1,000 naira for their works every day. In a week, 5,000. In a month, 20,000. Governor Mimiko had put 20,000 into their pocket without talking to them, without knowing
Even
them.
the psychological effect.
Even the psychological.
The feeling that, oh, this government cares for us.
Look at the little children, those students.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, I had the privilege to be the one that cut the tape of this program in Ondo. Kids whose houses are close to the school will trek about half a kilometer to enter the bus to come. After school, they trek back and walk back because of the joy.
Yeah.
You see, these are small things. People should think and release this pressure.
So you're saying the government of Tinubu should think in this direction?
They should look at, it's not just money, because if money is paid, I'm advocating for 100,000.
For the minimum wage?
Yes.
100,000?
Yes.
But the Labour is asking for 250.
That is my own. I'm talking of what is possible, what is doable, what can be handled by state government. We should not listen to all these stories we cannot pay. And the state governments, and I like the action of the Attorney General of the Federation. Let local governments function. If local governments function, like a local government that gets 100 million, even if you chop 50, you chop 80.
Why should you chop in the first place?
I'm going
we will not advocate for that on this show.
I'm going to the extreme. If you put 10 million naira in any local government every month, you will see it.
True.
You will see it. So the pressure from the state governors will disappear. The pressure will now move to the local government. There will be development. The pressure from the center here will go. People will be busy. You will see professors, you will see doctors, you see lawyers contesting to be councillor in the local government.
Finally, Chief, 2027 politics is already playing out, isn't it? Yeah. Because we can see politicians meeting and regrouping and all of that. Where is the place for ZLP? Because everybody is saying out there that how come the opposition parties have not seen any need to come together for a common purpose? Is there anything like that available? Are you guys talking?
I was told by the scriptures, do not bother for what you will eat tomorrow or what you will wear tomorrow.
But it will take care of itself.
Tomorrow will take care of itself. That even the birds in heaven, who feeds them? It is too early. When we get to the bridge, we shall cross it.
But planning is important, isn't it?
Planning is going on. You see, I've always said people should not clean the stomach of a cow in the public. Somebody asked me why. I said the stomach of a cow smells. Yeah. So when you want to clean it, you go at the back of the house. You don't come out to do it. So political parties are strategizing. Many political parties are meeting. Even those strategizing that wants to contest against the president are already thinking of their running mates who are governors. We have all these facts. So let us wait until then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Always a delight to have you.
Having me.
Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebo, of course. You know what we do on the show. It is to promote patriotism. You can see that patriotism oozing out in Chief Dan. And all of those promises that government has made to the people, he is also engaged government. Do this, do that for the good of your people. Legacy matters. Mr. President, what will you be remembered for? And here again on the show, I add my voice to that of Chief Dan Nwanyanwu, saying Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Let him get his freedom for the good of our country. Let us build a nation where no man is oppressed. I'll see you next week on this same show, Nigeria Right Now.